I'm calling this the Heartfelt Stitch because it looks like little rows of hearts stacked on top of each other. It's a really easy one row repeat. Let's get started. Get started with a chain that is in multiples of 7 plus 3. For mine, I used 24. Row 1 is really easy. Starting in the second chain from hook, work a single crochet, and then from there, you're going to single crochet into each chain all the way across the row. And I will meet you at the end of row 1. I'm at the end of row 1 here. I have a couple chains remaining, so I'm just single crocheting into those last couple of chains. And then to move on into row 2, I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and turn, and that brings us to row 2. Now this chain 3 here counts as a double crochet, the chain 3 that we just made. So we are going to skip the first stitch in this row and just move into the second stitch, and we're working a double crochet into that second stitch. So working my double crochet, and then once you have that double crochet, skip the next 2 stitches. So 1, 1, and 2. Moving into this third stitch right here, that's where we're going to work into. You're going to work a puff stitch. So to work that puff stitch, I'll break it down for you. Yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull through loop. We're going to do that for a total of 3 times. So that's 1 time. We're going to do it 2 more times. Yarn over, insert your hook back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through loop. So we've done it twice. We're going to do it 1 more time. Yarn over, insert your hook back into that same stitch, yarn over, oops, I lost that yarn, yarn over, pull through loop, and now you should have 7 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull through 6 loops, so leave 1 remaining. So yarn over, pull through 6 loops, so leave that last one on your hook. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. So that is your puff stitch. We're going to repeat that a lot. So that's like one side of the heart. So now chain 2, 1, and 2, and we're going to work another puff stitch back into that same stitch that we just worked our previous puff stitch into. It's going to be the exact same puff stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook back into that same stitch that we just worked the previous puff stitch, yarn over, pull through loop. So that was 1 time. Yarn over, insert your hook back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through loop. That was 2 times. We're going to do it 1 more time. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. I'm a bad example today. And now you should have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 7 loops. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. Now you have both sides of that heart. Skip the next 2 stitches. And in the third stitch, you're going to work a double crochet. So skip 2 stitches and double crochet into the third stitch. And then double crochet again into the next stitch. So we're basically working a heart and then 2 double crochet, heart, 2 double crochet. So skip 2 stitches again, and we're going to work another heart. So in the third stitch, work a puff stitch. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. Now you should have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 6 loops, 2 loops left on your hook, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops, chain 2, and then we're going to work another puff stitch back into that same stitch we just worked our previous puff stitch. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. Now you should have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 6 loops, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. And that is a heart worked. So then skip the next 2 stitches and work a double crochet into the following 2 stitches. So there's 1 double crochet, and then double crochet again into that next stitch. And that is the pattern you are working all the way across this row. When you reach the end of the row, you should have just worked a heart and have 4 stitches remaining. So skip 2 stitches, work a double crochet in the next stitch, and then another double crochet into that very last stitch. That's where I'm working into right now, that final double crochet. Now you will chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and turn, and that brings us into row 3. And row 3 is the row that you will repeat for the entirety of the rest of your pattern of whatever project you're working on. So that chain 3 we just made counts as a double crochet. So skip the first stitch of the row. We're going to work a double crochet into the second double crochet here. So skip the first double crochet and work a double crochet into the second double crochet. And that brings us to our heart. We're going to work another heart into the center of that heart. So into that chain 2 space, you're going to work a puff stitch. So into this chain 2 space right here, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. You should have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 6 loops. Yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. That's 1 puff stitch on one side of our heart. Now chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to work another puff stitch back into that same chain 2 space. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through loop. You should have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 6 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So you just worked a puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch into the chain 2 space of the row below. Now you're going to work a double crochet into the next 2 double crochet. So I'm working a double crochet into the first double crochet in the row below, and then another double crochet into this next double crochet right here. And that's it. You're going to repeat that all the way across this row. So once you complete those 2 double crochet, it takes you to the next heart, and you're going to work your puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch into the center of that heart or that chain 2 space. When you reach the end of the row, you're going to end on those 2 double crochet, and your last double crochet is going to be working into the chain 3 instead of a normal double crochet, because that chain 3 counted as a double crochet. And then we're going to work a chain 3 again. Again, that's going to count as a double crochet and turn, and you will just repeat row 3. So you can repeat row 3 until your project reaches your desired length. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, and you can also find my patterns at modernmade.net or Modern Made Shop on Etsy. I really hope that you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please like it and subscribe for more crochet related content like this. I'll see you next time.